watched a movie on the plane about a girl who buys a washing machine. And it turns out that the washing machine was from a guy that like goes into other people's houses to buy stuff from them, and then he kills them, and then he sells all their belongings. Which to me seemed like the most obvious way to get caught ever, right? Because like if you're doing that, like people are eventually gonna notice somebody is like selling all of this shit and then killing a person and then doing it again and again and again, right? The terrible title is what made me click on it. Is don't buy the seller, which I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? But I'm watching it, right? And it's like this woman, she buys a washing machine because hers is broken, and it turns out it's a broken washing machine. And so she like goes to leave a negative review, and the account has already been deleted, right? He's already moved on from that account, and he's like made a new one. And she's like going through the wanted or the selling ads, and she's like, oh wait, it has the same description as the listing of the washing machine that I purchased. So she goes in the comments and she's like, this is a scam, don't buy this. And then the guy messages her and is like, hey, don't mess with me. You better take down that negative review right now. And she's like, you're such a loser. Why are you going around scamming people, loser? She's like, you're such a loser. And he's like, I'm gonna give you like one more warning. And she's like, loser, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. And he's like, all right, I warned you. And so it starts with him like, he posts like a listing saying that she's doing a free giveaway and posts her number, right? So she starts like getting a bunch of calls, and she's like, oh my god, this is so annoying, right? She gets like one call and she's like, what the fuck? I'm not doing a free giveaway, right? And then she puts her phone down, and then somebody else calls her and she's like, this is so annoying. And then she gets like another call and then she's scared. It's like, bro. Bro, you would not fucking live in America, man. Yeah, anyways, right. So then she like goes on the listing and she's like, the giveaway ended, right? To like make people stop, which is like kind of clever, right? Like instead of like just like saying it's a scam again or whatever, she's like, yeah, the giveaway ended. I already gave the washing machine away, right? In the comment section, so like more people don't call her. Anyways, the next thing that happens is he starts like sending like food to her house, and she opens the door to the delivery people. And she's like, I didn't order anything. And they're like, well, this is your address, isn't it? And she's like, yeah, but I didn't order anything. And then like a bunch of food delivery people come. And they're like, did you order stuff? And she's like, no, I didn't order stuff. Right? She does like this face. And it like zooms out. So then she like calls the police and she's like, you gotta make him stop! And the police are like, I'm sorry, but like, what are we gonna do about it, right? Like, it's gonna take forever just for us to like even start investigating because we got like so many cases and this is so like whatever, right? And then like this other guy who's like the new guy, right? He's like young and he's like, I'll help you, right? He starts like simping for her. He's like, I'll help you. And so the older police guy, he's like, oh my god, why did you tell her that, bro? And he's like, she seemed really scared. Was the woman pretty? Yeah. Then things like start to escalate, right? Then she gets like more food delivery. And then like, I forget like what happens, but they install like a security camera. It turns out later that the stalker guy is the one who installed the security camera. So we like see his face early on. And all I could think was like, how did this guy get hired to install the security camera? Right? Because like the police and everything like knew. Because like they were the ones that like had this guy install the security camera. So it's like, what? How did he get hired by the police to install the security camera? He doesn't have any connection to the police. So it's like, what? And then like the plot reveal, like the plot twist is that it was the security camera guy. And the security camera guy has been the one like going around like killing all these people, right? But like it doesn't like make any sense. But she like looks at like the fire alarm, the water sprinkler, because it looks like the security camera that's outside, because like the key thing is like, oh, the residents don't feel comfortable with security cameras, so we have like a disguised security camera, right? So she looks at her water sprinkler and she's like, oh my god, wait, he's been spying on me through this the entire time. And then there's like he busts into her house like a few times. He starts like sending people to like her door, and they're like, I'm here for the one night stand. And she's like, it's like, dude, just tell them you're not like doing that. Like, what? Like, these people are like, knock knock, I'm here to have sex with you. And she's like, ah! Bro, tell them you don't want to have sex. She's like freaking out. She's like trembling. She's like, ah! Right, and to be fair, like, they were like trying to get into her house, right? But she's like, instead of saying like, this is the wrong house, she like freaks out for a bunch. And then after like 5 minutes of them trying to get in, she's like, I'm calling the police right now. It's like, bro, why didn't you just like open with that? What are you doing, dude? And she's just like standing there. She's not even like holding a knife or anything. She doesn't even like run to the kitchen. She just like stands in her living room. And when they like, because she hears like the security pad buttons being pressed, right? And she gets up and it's like one button at a time. And she like freaks out. And then she has like the lock thing on the door so it can't open the whole way. And they're like trying to open it. It's like, bro, don't act like you would not freak out. Listen, I had people bust into my home, all right? What I did is you go into the fucking bathroom and you lock the door. Or you go into whatever room you can and you lock the door and you wait in there with a fucking gun. Or in her case, because she was in South Korea, like with a knife or something, right? You don't just like stand there and like wait for somebody to bust into your fucking house. Anyways. So after that, then like she reports it again, and then the security guy like breaks into her house entirely, right? And like eats her food, and she's like, ah! And breaks her chopsticks, which maybe that has like some symbolism or something. I don't know, whatever. He's like, okay, if you pay me like $10,000, I'll leave you alone. And she's like, okay. And he's like, you can't call the police or anything. And she's like, okay. So she withdraws $10,000 and she goes back to her apartment, right? And she's like waiting to give him the $10,000, which is just like a batshit insane idea. Like, you're gonna go back into your house with the $10,000? Like, if you want to take a chance doing this, right? Why don't you just like leave the $10,000 in like a public place or something? Why would you go back to your home to exchange the $10,000? She's insane. Yeah, she went back to her house. Okay, and then so like the older police guy is like parked outside of her house and he's like watching, and one of the stipulations from like the stalker guy was like, you can't have any like police or tell them or anything. So she doesn't know that the police guy is watching. But the police guy is watching, right? Not the simp, the older guy, who's objectively like way more handsome and should have been like a love interest or something. He's camped outside the house and the stalker comes by and he uses his motorcycle helmet to bust the window open with his fucking head, dude. He busts the fucking window open with his head. And he like chloroforms the police officer, which is like, what? Like, and the cop is just like flailing his arms, right? He's like not even like fighting back really. Like, unbuckle your seatbelt and like fight back, bro. But he's like not even doing anything. He's just like flailing his arms. He's all buckled in nicely into his cop car as the fucking motorcycle helmet wearing stalker is fucking chloroforming him. And then the stalker guy like goes into the house, right? And I forget like what happened around that time, but like eventually like the simp police officer is like, oh my god, wait, I know what's happening. And he like goes like to the girl's apartment because nobody's answering their fucking phones. Well, because hers is turned off, and because the older police guy has like got like he's chloroformed, so he can't respond. So the stalker like kidnaps her. He like chloroforms her next and then like shoves her into his car and drives off. But it doesn't like make a whole lot of sense because he was like they showed him like being on a motorcycle, so I don't know where his car came from. So he drives off with her, and then like the cop like comes to after the simp guy starts like shaking him awake and stuff. And they start like a big police chase, right? So you got the two cops chasing the stalker who's got the girl, the main character, in the back seat of his car, and she's chloroformed, right? Was it her car? Oh my god, wait, it might have been her car. You know, it might have been her car. That would make sense. And the cops are chasing after him, and it's like this high-speed chase, right? And it's like, it's a little bit cool. It's a little bit like action-packed, right? And it's like, the simp cop is like so useless, man. Like the older cop is so much cooler in every single way and more handsome. And so they're like driving after her, right? And then like the younger cop gets his car flipped. Like he like tries to like slam into the stalker car, and they both end up like racing like side by side, and they get like fucking T-boned by a goddamn like truck coup. Then the younger cop gets isekai'd. They're like, stop the bleeding! We have to stop the bleeding! He's flatlining! Get him a charge! Oh, he's back. He's showing vital signs. He has a pulse. And then the older cop is like, yeah, he died, by the way. The younger cop is dead. And she's like, oh my god, we have to put a stop to this. And so they like use her friend as bait, right? They like have her like buy a bunch of stuff off of the internet in order to try and like find the guy, because they just assume that he's just gonna keep selling people shit again. And needless to say, he does. And so like they like run into him again, and then there's like a big fight, and for some reason like the cop didn't bring any sort of like defensive device, I guess. So it's just the cop armed with nothing and the girl armed with nothing versus a guy with a knife. There's one brain cell in this movie and it's the criminal, yeah. Oh shit, where are we dropping it?